Hello students, today we shall discuss about chemical reaction. So types of chemical reaction. Chemical reactions may be of four types. One is the direct combination or synthesis, second one is decomposition, third one is displacement, and fourth one is double decomposition. So in our previous class we have already discussed about direct combination or synthesis. That means this type of in this type of reaction two reactants react with each other. For example, A and B, they react with each other to form a new compound, that is C. So C is here the product. So here for this reaction may take place in presence of heat or electricity or light or sound. So any kind of energy will be required for this kind of reaction. This is also called synthesis reaction. We have already discussed this type of reaction. So second one is decomposition reaction. Decomposition means it is the opposite of combination reaction. So here if you take one substance, it will get decomposed into two substances. For example, AB is the substance in presence of heat or electricity. It get decomposed to A and B, that is its corresponding elements, or the substance A may get decomposed to another two new substances C and D. So this is the type of decomposition reaction. Now this decomposition reaction may occur in presence of heat, then this is called thermal decomposition, or it may occur in presence of electricity. So any kind of energy is necessary here. Now if you see the activity series of metal, this is the activity series of metal. You can see potassium, sodium, those are present at the top of the activity series. If you move down at the bottom of the activity series, there are the elements like mercury, silver, aurum and platinum. So these elements present below hydrogen here, whereas potassium, sodium, calcium up to copper, these elements present here above hydrogen. You can see hydrogen is there at the middle of the activity series. So this is the activity series. Now if we consider the hydroxides of the elements, for example potassium, sodium hydroxides or their carbonates, they are very stable. So when if you supply heat to potassium or sodium hydroxide or carbonate, there will be no reaction because they are very much stable. Whereas for potassium nitrate, if you heat it, you will obtain potassium nitrite and oxygen. Okay, so the metals or elements present at the top of the activity series, those have the tendency that they will remain in compound form. So they cannot remain in free form. Potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, those are very much active metals. Okay, so they will remain in compound form. Potassium is very stable or sodium is very stable in hydroxide form or carbonate form. So they cannot get dissociate into corresponding potassium or corresponding sodium. Whereas if you see the calcium, magnesium, aluminium up to copper, these metal hydroxides, when you heat their hydroxides, they will form their corresponding oxides and water. So here calcium hydroxide, when heated, we will obtain calcium oxide and water, or magnesium oxide and magnesium carbonate is heated, you will obtain magnesium oxide and carbon dioxide. Whereas when their nitrates are heated, you will get the corresponding metal oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. So you can see here in all the cases you are getting the metal oxide. Okay, so their reactivity is slightly less than the potassium or sodium, so they can get decomposed to their corresponding oxides. Then if you come down to these metals like mercury, silver, aurum, platinum, if you come down to these metals, what will happen? They are very less reactive. They are very less reactive. So when you heat their hydroxides or their carbonates or their nitrates, so the free metal will form. In each case you will obtain the free metal. For example, if you heat silver hydroxide, you will get silver, oxygen and water. So here you are getting the free metal. Why? Because they are very less reactive. So you are here getting the free metal. So due to this type of this activity series, their behavior will change when you hit their carbonates or hydroxides or nitrates. So all these reactions are the decomposition reactions. So these reactions are very much important for your examination purpose. So now decomposition reaction may be thermal decomposition. When heat is required for decomposition, it is thermal decomposition. When electricity is required, it is electrical decomposition reaction. Now here another important thing, that is thermal dissociation. What is thermal dissociation? This is one kind of thermal decomposition reaction, but the reaction is here reversible. So reversible thermal decomposition is called thermal dissociation reaction. Reversible means this reaction may occur in the right hand side, or you can change the direction of the reaction in the opposite direction. That is when you take some solid ammonium chloride in a test tube, and if you supply heat, then you will get ammonia gas and hydrogen chloride gas. Those two gases will evolve through the test tube. At the upper side of the test tube, those gases will condense and react with each other, because at the upper side of the test tube there is cooler part. So at the cooler part, these two gases will combine with each other again to form the solid white color ammonium chloride. So at the top side of the test tube, you will again get the solid ammonium chloride. So this reaction is reversible here, and you see this is the decomposition reaction, and in presence of heat, so this is thermal decomposition and this is reversible thermal decomposition. So this is called thermal dissociation. For example, N2O4, dinitrogen tetroxide, when you heat it, you will obtain nitrogen dioxide. Again at the cooler part, the nitrogen dioxide combine to form nitrogen tetroxide. Now the third one is displacement reaction. Displacement, what is displacement? That is, here one element will displace the another element from its salt in solution. So which element will displace the which element? Here the more reactive element will displace the less reactive elements from its salt. So here the activity series is again important. So if you see here zinc and copper, you see zinc is here, copper is here. So zinc is above copper in the activity series. So zinc is more reactive than copper. So zinc can replace copper from its salt. So if you dip one zinc rod in copper sulfate solution, you know copper sulfate is blue color. If you dip one zinc rod in copper sulfate solution, the blue color will fade. Okay, there will be formation of zinc sulfate, because the copper sulfate gets dissociate. There will be formation of copper, deposition of metallic copper. So the copper sulfate, blue color of the copper sulfate will fade gradually, and you will obtain brownish red precipitate of copper metal. Brownish red precipitate of copper metal. Okay, and in this reaction is a redox reaction. If you see here, zinc is oxidized to zinc sulfate. So zinc to zinc sulfate, it is oxidation, and copper sulfate to copper, it is reduction. Okay, so copper sulfate is reduced to copper, zinc is oxidized to zinc sulfate. So the elements present at the top of the activity series, they can be oxidized easily, whereas the elements present at the bottom of the activity series, they can be reduced easily. So here copper sulfate is reduced to copper, zinc is oxidized to zinc sulfate. But if you dip one copper rod in zinc sulfate, you will get no result, no reaction will be there. Why? Because copper present below zinc in the activity series. So copper is less reactive, so it cannot replace zinc from its salt. Now similarly you see magnesium and hydrogen. Between magnesium and hydrogen, here magnesium present at the top above hydrogen in activity series. So magnesium can replace hydrogen from sulfuric acid. There will be formation of magnesium sulfate and evolution of hydrogen gas. So you will get here effervescence due to the evolution of hydrogen. Now if you compare this activity among the halogens are iodide, bromide, chloride, fluoride, and this is the arrangement of the halogens in activity series. That means iodide is more reactive than fluoride, bromide is more reactive than chloride or fluoride, chloride is more reactive than fluoride. So here also if you take potassium iodide, in potassium iodide solution you add some chlorine, what will happen? This chlorine, as here chlorine present below iodide, so chlorine will get reduced easily. So here chlorine will be reduced to potassium chloride, and iodide as present at the top of the series, so iodide will be oxidized to iodine. So iodide to iodine oxidation, chlorine to chloride reduction. On the other hand, here iodide is more reactive than chloride, so iodide here chlorine will replace iodide, then there will be formation of iodine. Okay, chlorine will replace here iodide to iodine. Okay, so in this series here, as iodide present at the top, so it will get oxidized, and at chlorine present at the below of the series, so it will get reduced. Okay, so displacement type of reaction, actually redox type of reactions. So these are all the example of displacement reaction. Now if we see at the last one, double decomposition. Double decomposition means there will be two compounds, they remain in solution, and when they react with each other, their radicals will interchange their position. Say AB is the compound, CD is the compound, they react with each other. You can see here for AB, A is the positive radical, B negative radical, for CD, C positive radical, D negative radical. Then there will be interchange of the radicals. So A positive radical will combine with D negative radical AD, and C positive radical will combine with B negative radical CB. So these are the new product. So this is called double decomposition. Double decomposition may be three types: precipitation, neutralization, and salt hydrolysis. Now what is precipitation? If you add in the silver nitrate solution some sodium chloride solution, then there will be formation of silver chloride and sodium nitrate. So here silver chloride being insoluble, it will get precipitated out, it is white in color. Similarly copper sulfate reacts with H2S, there will be formation of black color copper sulfide precipitate. So all the reactions occur here in solution. This is important. Now neutralization. Neutralization means when acid reacts with base, HCl reacts with NaOH, there will be formation of NaCl and water. You say positive radical Na combines with negative radical Cl, NaCl. Here hydrogen combines with water, OH, so there will be formation of water. So this is neutralization. Another type of reaction, double decomposition, is salt hydrolysis. This is opposite of neutralization. So if you take some salt, for example sodium carbonate, if you dissolve it in water, then you will get here NaOH and carbonic acid. You see, this is also double decomposition reaction. This sodium combines with OH, you will get base, and here hydrogen combines with carbonate, you will get acid, carbonic acid. So salt will get dissolved in water to form base and acid. So this is opposite of salt hydrolysis. These are all the 4 types of chemical reaction. Now chemical reaction may be classified on the basis of energy absorbed or released. There are 2 types of chemical reaction, exothermic and endothermic. What is exothermic reaction? The reactions in which heat is released, energy is released. It may be heat, may be sound, any kind of energy will be released in that type of reaction. For example, for burning of any carbon containing compound, any fuel, carbon reacts with oxygen, there will be formation of carbon dioxide. You know, during burning there will be generation of huge amount of heat. So it is exothermic reaction. Any kind of organic compounds, fuels like methane, ethane, all when burned in oxygen, there will be formation of heat. Similarly, if you take quicklime and if you add water, you will get the wall of the container becomes hotter due to formation of large amount of heat, and here there will be formation of calcium hydroxide slake lime. Similarly, our respiration reaction, the reaction involves with the respiration, associated with the respiration, that is glucose gets dissociated in presence of oxygen to carbon dioxide and water, and heat is released. So this is also exothermic reaction. Now endothermic reaction are those when there will be absorption of heat. For example, when you supply heat to calcium carbonate, so here you have to write heat in the reactant side, that is heat gets absorbed during the reaction, then there will be formation of calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So here heat is absorbed. So during this type of reaction, the temperature of the reaction mixture will decrease, that is endothermic reaction. For exothermic reaction, the temperature of the reaction mixture will increase. Okay, so these are all the type of reactions so far we have discussed. Okay, understood? Okay students, thank you all.